Alright, let's talk about the tenses of the verbs. When we talk about tenses of the verbs, these are the forms that help to show time. Again, when we talk about tenses of the verbs, it helps to show time. In tenses of the verbs, we have this simple tense, and it consists with three tenses. We have present tense, past tense, and future tense. Let's talk about present tense. There are general forms of present tense. The first one is that we add s or es to the base form of the verb. Again, when we talk about present tense, we are going to add es or es to the base form of the verb. What does it mean then? For example, Rilvan writes a poem every day. So as you can see here, the italicized word is the word writes, and that is our verb. If we talk about a base form of the verb, the word write only. Okay? So that is the base form of the verb. Now take note. The reason why we add s, it became writes, because the subject is singular. And when the subject is singular, the verb must be singular as well, whereas we add s or es at the end of the word. Is that clear? Next, second, base form of the verb, meaning to say we do not add s or es at the end of the verb or the word of the verb. Like for example, Rilvan and Van write a poem every day. So in this case, the italicized word is write. So in that case, that is the base form of the verb because there is no s or es that are added to that word. So the reason why also we do not add s in this word, it is because our subject is plural. We have two nouns, which is Rilvan and Van, plural, so that's why our verb is plural. So there is no s. So that is present tense. But there are meanings and uses of present tense. First one, talk about persons, things, or events that are generally true or factual. Again, kapag pinag-uusapan natin ang present tense, ito yung we are talking about person or things or event na totoo siya. Okay po? Na totoo siya or ginagawa talaga natin. Example, the earth revolves around the sun. So in this sentence, it is true, right? It is fact. It is a fact. So that's why it is revolves. Now, as you can see, we add s. Same thing with the subject-verb agreement. We add s because the subject is singular. Okay, that's why we add s. But if the subject is plural, talking about present tense, of course, we do not add s to the verb. Clear? Next example, the sun rises in the east. So same thing, the sentence here is fact, is true. So we use rises, okay? And we use present tense. In that case, the reason why we add s, it is because the subject is singular, okay? And if the subject is plural, we do not add s to the verb. Nagkakaintindihan. Next is present tense talks about a routine, a hobby, or anything that always happen. Kapag sinabi nating present tense, ito yung routine or yung hobbies natin na ginagawa natin palagi. Okay? These are actions or events that we always do. Okay? Malalaman kasi natin na it is a present tense kapag may always, may regularly, may now. So, ganun siya. For example, we celebrate Christmas every year. In this case, the sentence shows that it always happened. Christmas always happened every year. That's why that is a present tense. Sir, why is it that it's celebrate, not celebrates? The reason why it's celebrate, we did not add s, it is because our subject is plural. Clear? Okay, so that is present tense, ha? Kapag present tense, it talks about truth or fact. It always happened. Next is, it talks about conditions that are true right now. Okay, kapag sinabi natin present tense, ito yung mga conditions daw or mga actions na totoo ngayon. Okay, o nangyari siya ngayon. For example, they are busy now. So in that case, it is a present tense because it happens now. Because of the word now. That is why it is a present tense. Another one, we use are as our verb. It is because our subject is plural, which is they. Another example, she is safe now. The same thing. This situation is happening right now because of the word now. And we use is as our verb. It is because she is a singular one. Okay? And remember that the words or verbs are and is are present form. Okay? They are in present form. Next is present tense talks about opinions at the moment. Remember this? At the moment. Present tense siya, situations or events that happens at the moment or at this moment, at this juncture. That is present tense. Halimbawa, you are very noisy. Let's assume that this sentence is happening at this moment, at this juncture of time. So, that is why it is a present tense. And we use verb are in a present form. It is because the subject is you. Okay? That is present tense talking about at this moment. Next is present tense talks about what you have read. O kung ano daw yung mga nabasa mo, that is present tense. In what way? For example, the author believes that death is unavoidable. The author believes that death is unavoidable. So in this sentence, this is what you have read. Okay? Ito yung nabasa mo sa libro. So the verb that we will be using is in a present form. Okay? Now, since it is present form, either of the two, yung mag-add ba tayo ng S or yung base form lang. Since the subject is singular, so the verb that we will be using is singular as well. We will add es or s. That's why it's believes. Okay? Again, kapag alam na natin kapag ang sentence is in a present tense yung sentence, automatic na ang gagamitin nating verb is present form. Ano yung present form? Paano yung nag-work? Diba meron tayong dalawang form sa present form? Yung mag-add tayo ng s or hindi. Tama? So, mag-add lang tayo ng s kapag ang subject is singular. Pero kapag hindi naman singular ang subject, which is plural, we do not add s. Next is, the Constitution provides that every child has the right to education. In this sentence, let's assume that ito yung nabasa mo. This is what you have read. Even nabasa mo siya or nabasa mo, same thing, the verb that we'll be using is in a present form. So, since the present form, let's talk about the two forms ng present tense. We have adding s and we do not add s. So, in this case, our subject is singular, so the verb that we will be using is singular as well. We have provides with s. Next is present tense talk about sports events and demonstrations that are happening live. So all the events or sports events or demonstrations that are happening live, remember how live, that is in a present tense. And we use verb in a present form. It's either mag-add tayo ng s or Hindi. For example, the front court dribbles the ball and passes it to number 3. Okay? Though, let's assume na pang natapos na siya, pero still, live nangyari siya. So, the verb that we'll be using is present form, which is dribbles. Okay? Because the subject is singular. That's why we add S. Remember that in a present tense, the singular form of the verb is used when the subject is singular. Halimbawa, we add S or ES at the end of the word of the verb if the subject is singular. My father goes to work every day. So in this case, every day siya, that is a present tense. Diba? Palaging ginagawa, it always nangyayari siya palagi. So, that is a present tense. And after that one, determining kung anong tense yan, let's talk about the forms. Okay, anong verb na gagamitin? With S or without S? Since the subject is father, singular, that's why we add S. That's it. Next is, the plural form of the verb is used when the subject is plural. So in this case, base form of the verb is used if the subject is plural. So we will not add S or ES here in the verb. For example, we celebrate Christmas every year. So every year, palagi siyang ginagawa. Palagi every year siya. So the verb we'll be using is present form. So in this case, are we going to add S or not? Depending on the subject. Tingnan natin yung subject we. So, plural ang subject, which is we. That's why we do not add S, that's why it's celebrate. We celebrate Christmas every year. Take note with this. Kapag present tense, palagi siyang ginagawa. It happens at the moment, at the juncture of time. It happens right now. Okay? Ito yon. Yan yung mga palagi nating tatandaan kapag present tense. At kapag present tense naman, minsan sa sentence, meron ka makikitang regularly, everyday, right now, at the moment. So, mga present tense yon. So, ang verb na gagamitin natin is present form. Kapag present form na verb, it's either we're going to add S or we do not add S, depending on the subject. Okay? Next is past tense. Kapag past tense, ito yung tapos na. Parang kayo ng jowa mo, tapos na. Ay, sorry. Well, anyway, there are general forms of past tense. We are going to add D or ED to the base form, and this is what we called regular verb. Again, ang isa sa general form ng past tense is that we will add D or ED to the base form, and that is what we call regular verb. Malalaman natin na ang isang sentence is past tense kapag ang verb is may D or ED to the base form. Example, mother washed the clothes yesterday. So, yesterday, kahapon, tapos na siya. So, bakit pa natin siya balikan? Kailang past is past, diba? So, the verb that we will be using is washed with ed. Diba? The base form here is wash. Wash lang. But we add ed, it is because tapos na nga siya. Tapos na tapos na yung sitwasyon. That's why we use washed. Sir, are we going to determine first the subject? No, hindi na. Kapag past tense na siya, kapag past tense na ang sentence, just either you're going to add D or ED at the end of the verb. Hindi ka na magbabase sa subject. Okay? Kapag present tense lang, magbabase ka. Pero pag past tense, hindi na po kasi you are just going to add D or ED. Whether the subject is singular or plural, still, if the sentence is past tense already, you are just going to add D or ED. Another form is irregular verbs. What are those irregular verbs? Ano ba itong irregular verbs? Kapag irregular verbs, wala siyang technique, you're just going to memorize their past form. Okay? I-memorize lang talaga natin yung past form. Palagi ko sinasabi yan sa mga estudyante ko na just memorize, familiarize the past form of these verbs. So, meron akong binibigay sa kanila ng mga
present form din, past form of the verbs from A to Z. So yun. Pinafamiliarize namin, ginagawa namin siya everyday. So everyday, kahit 2 words, 3 words, 5 words lang, at least ma-familiarize nila, ginagawa namin yan. For example, my teacher wrote his thesis last month. So last month, with H to ha, with H. With H to ha, yung month, may H yan. So, my teacher wrote his thesis last month. So, the verb that we'll use is wrote. Tapos na kasi last month diba? Last month. So, tapos na siya. So, since tapos na siya, ang verb na gagamitin natin is past form. And the past, ano bang present tense ng wrote? Diba? Write. Write is the present form of wrote. So, ang past tense ng write is wrote. Kaya siya, ganon ang verb natin, wrote, past tense siya. Para mas maintindihan natin, I'll give you some.
Alright, so these are some of the examples of irregular verbs. From build, it became built. From bring, it so happened it became brought. See, with a past form of saw. Drive, with its past form drove. Go became went. Speak became spoke. So these italicized and bold words, these are the irregular verbs. Ito yung gagamitin nating mga verbs kapag ang sentence ay past tense. Okay po? Again, these bold and italicized words, ito yung mga gagamitin nating mga words kapag ang sentence is past tense, because the verb must be past tense as well, or past form. So kung ang sentence ay past tense, tapos na ginawa ang isang action or ang condition, dapat yung verb na gagamitin natin is past form. And irregular verbs, these are verbs that the words change the spelling. Unlike in regular verbs, we will just add D or ED at the end of the word of the verb. Like for example, walk, it became walked. From the base form walk, we add ED to make it past. That's why it became walked. Same thing with climb. So from the base form climb, we added ED, so it became climbed to make it past. So these are some of the examples of irregular verbs and regular verbs. Marami pa tayong irregular, marami pa tayong regular verbs na kailangang matutunan. Again, kapag irregular verbs, we need to familiarize and memorize all those irregular verbs. Now, let's start with the meanings and uses of past tense. First, they talk about actions or events completed at a particular time in the past. So meaning to say, kapag sinasabi natin ng past tense, these are actions or events that are completed already, that happened already in a particular time in the past. Okay? Nangyari siya, tapos na siyang nangyari in a particular time. For example, Mother washed clothes last Saturday. So in this sentence, this is an action that is completed in the past already. However, it is completed in a particular time because it was mentioned here, last Saturday. There is a particular time that is being conveyed with. So in that case then, since this sentence is a past tense, the verb that we will be using is past form. So what is the past form of wash? So we just add ed to make it past, diba? From the base form wash, we add ed to make it past. Okay, that's why it became washed. Next, past tense talks about actions or events completed over a period of time. Again, kapag sinabi nating past tense, hindi lang siya conditions or events na nangyari na in a particular time. Kapag past tense din, ito din yung actions or events that are completed already over a period of time. Hindi siya particular, no? Hindi siya particular. With example, we stayed in the province in 2007. So in this sentence, we can say that the action here or the event is completed in the past over a period of time because of the we stayed in the province in 2007. So that is, a period of time. So the verb that we'll be using is stayed. We add ed to the base form stay. Next, past tense can also be talking about actions or events that are true in the past but not in the present. Also, so ang past tense naman, ito yung actions na tapos na. Tapos na pero totoo. Again, kapag past tense, these are actions or events that are true in the past. Totoo siya, totoong nangyari nung nakaraan. Pero in the present, hindi na siya totoo. Okay? It cannot be true in the present. For example, he drank Nido at 3. Of course, from the past, when he was at 3 years old, he drank, he drinks Nido or a milk, right? Pero ngayon, since matanda na siya, into this present at this moment, hindi na siya totoo kasi hindi na siya siguro probably nagninido, no? So that's it. That's why we use past tense. So what is the present tense of drunk? That is drink, okay? That is drink. So the past form of drink is drunk. Next, past tense talks about actions or events that happened in a story. So all actions or events that happened in a story, those are past tense. Again, lahat ng mga events or actions na nangyari sa story, whether kakabasa mo lang, that is a past tense. So for example, the king banished the wicked princess. So in this case, this is an action or an event that happened in a story. In that case, the verb that we will be using is past form. From the base form banish, we add ed to make it in a past form. So to summarize the topic past tense, no, of course, kapag sinabi nating past tense, tapos na, nangyari na ang isang bagay, ang action or ang events, okay? Kapag tapos na, hindi na dapat balikan. Just kidding aside, no? Well, anyway, kapag sinabing past tense, we add d or ed at the end of the word of the verb, okay? So, nag-add tayo ng d or d at the end of the word of the verb sa base form ng verb. For example, my mother washed the clothes yesterday. So the verb here is washed. So we have the base form wash. So kapag past tense ang pinag-uusapan, it's either we are going to add d or ed. To make it washed, we will add ed. So this is the past form of the base form wash. That's it. Next is we change the spelling of the verb. In past tense, we do not just add d or ed, we also change the spelling. For example, my mother went to school yesterday. So, the verb here is went. It went ang verb natin. So, the present form of went is go. Okay, and the past form here is went. So, as you can see, the spelling of the verb has changed. Okay, nagbago siya. So, ganun ang isa sa trabaho ng past tense when it comes to verb. Again, yung add or d or ed, that's what we call regular verbs. Once we change the spelling of the verb, talking about past tense, we call that as irregular verbs. Next is a future tense. There are two general forms of future tense. We have will plus base form of the verb. For example, the teacher will check the paper tomorrow. We can assume that this sentence is a present tense, future tense, or rather, it is because of the word tomorrow. Bukas pa. Bakit po? Kasi pag sinabi nating future tense, pinag-usapan natin dito yung events or actions na gagawin pa lang. It's either tomorrow, next week, next year, gagawin mo pa lang. So that's why in this sentence, we can say that the teacher will check the paper tomorrow kasi nga gagawin pa lang ng teacher. So from the base form check, this one, there is added will. So will check, okay? So kapag future ang pinag-usapan, we add will,
then the base form of the verb. Here, will, then this is the base form. That's it. Kapag future tense ang pinag-usapan. Next, shall plus base form of the verb. Same thing, no? We have shall, then the base form of the verb. For example, we shall all grow old. So in this case, the verb here is grow, and we added shall, okay? So because it is a future tense. And take note with this, we use shall if the subject is I and we. Again, we use shall if the subject is I and we. So these are words that we need to remember. We have tomorrow, next week, next month, next year, later. So these are words these are some of the words or that that have a connotation that the sentence is in the future tense. Again, if you encounter these words sa sentence, ibig sabihin lang yan, ang pinag-uusapan natin or yung actions or yung bagay is future tense. Okay? So there are meanings and uses of future tense. First, they talk about actions or events that are intended to happen. So, ito yung pag future tense kasi, ito yung mga events or actions na mangyayari talaga. Hindi pa siya nangyari pero mangyayari pa siya. For example, the teacher will check the test papers tomorrow. Okay? So mangyayari talaga to. Okay? From the word tomorrow, so ibig sabihin mangyayari pa lang siya. It is intended to happen. That's why we have will check. Will plus the base form of the verb check. Next is talks about action or events that are unavoidable. Okay, lahat ng all the situations that or events or actions that can be avoided that is future tense. For example, we shall grow older. In this sentence, hindi naman siya maiiwasan natin. We cannot avoid this kind of situation. So in that case, that is a future tense and we will use shall or will. No, we shall grow older. So we have shall, then the base form grow. That's it. Next is talk about promises. When we talk about future tense, we also referring to about promises. When someone is promising you or gives promise with you, we are talking about or they are talking about future tense. Mangyayari pa lang siya. For example, I shall stay with you forever. So in this case, this is a promise. No, this sentence or statement is a promise. So in that case, that is a future tense. And we will use either will or shall, then plus the base form of the verb. This sentence, we use shall, then the base form of the verb stay. So it became I shall stay with you forever. Next is talking about actions or events that are unavoidable. This sentence, we use shall, then the base form of the verb stay. So it became I shall stay with you forever. We will also know if the statement or the sentence is future tense if talking about determinations, okay? Ano yung determination na pinag-usapan natin? For example, they will never surrender. So this statement is probably talking about determination. So in this case, we will use will or shall, then plus the base form of the verb. Okay? So as you can see, that is a future tense. Next is talking about predictions. Okay, of course, predictions, that is a future tense kapag statement, no? The smart boy will become a teacher someday. So in this scenario, no, it is a prediction that the boy will become a teacher someday. So parang pinipredict mo naman kung anong mangyayari ng tao. So that's future tense. That's why we use the will plus base form of the verb become. Again, to summarize everything, no, kapag sinabi nating future tense, mangyayari pa lang ang isang bagay or ang conditions or events. In future tense, ito lang tatandaan natin. Malalaman natin na kapag ang sentence or ang statements is about future if the word is or the verb has will, then the base form of the verb. Okay? Next is shall plus base form of the verb. Ito lang tatandaan natin kapag future tense. Meron siyang will and shall. So for example, will plus dance equals will dance. So in this case, this is in a future tense. So again, tenses of the verbs, we have simple tense. It consists of 3 tenses. We have present tense. Kapag sinabi natin present tense, ito yung sitwasyon or statements or conditions, actions or events that happened at the moment, at this juncture of time, right now. So, ito yung mga actions na nangyayari. Okay, nangyayari pa lang. And we know that if it's present tense, if we add S or ES and the base form of the verb, that's present tense. Second is past tense. Kapag sinabing past tense, actions or events, conditions that are happened already. Okay, tapos na siya. Hindi na natin siya pwedeng balikan. Oh, sorry with that. Now, kapag past tense, again, malalaman natin if the statement is past tense if we add D or ED. And, of course, other verbs change the spelling of the verb. Next is future tense. Kapag sinabi natin future tense, mangyayari pa lang ang isang bagay or ang condition or action. So, malalaman natin if it's a future tense kapag meron siyang will, then shall, plus base form of the verb. So, I hope that this topic helps you to make your sentence more clear, concise, and relevant. Kasi minsan, kapag ang tao, when people are talking or speaking using statement, then ang ginamit nilang verb is past tense, pero future pala ang ibig sabihin nila, there is a confusion with both speakers, no? Hindi na sila magkakaintindihan. That's why, as a speaker or as an individual, we should know how to use verbs according to tenses. Present tense, past tense, future. If we are talking about past, then we should use verbs in a past form. If ang pinag-usapan naman natin ay future tense, dapat ang verb na gagamitin din natin is pang future. Okay, hindi pwedeng yung pinag-usapan natin is future but the verbs that we are using is about past, then di tayo magkakaintindihan yan. Kasi kung ang intindi mo ay pang future, ang intindi ng kausap mo is past, tapos na siya. So, we should know about this one. We should familiarize this. And I hope that you learn something out of this topic. I have tried my best to discuss it thoroughly using English Tagalog. So, I hope that you will understand how my Tagalog speaking. So, well, thank you for listening and thank you for continuing watching this video.